Hello and welcome to episode 91 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and as always, I am joined by Wib. Say hello.
Hello.
And I am also joined by Drummer Matt. Say hello.
Hi.
Hey, how are you lovely gents doing this fine day?
We're okay. You're in a mood, I see.
When am I not in a mood,
That's
sweetheart?
That's a fair point. How you doing, Matt?
Yeah, good. I'm not even going to ask Snipe. I'm not even going to open that can of worms.
I am the personification of Pandora's box.
So, moving on from that,
The incident involving zombies in a mansion. I'm just excited to talk to Drummer Butt again. It's been a while. And I guess you're here too.
I am also here.
You're always
kind of
here.
General news. Since we mentioned it last week, we should probably point out that we did go ahead and get a sister's box.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone thought you wouldn't, or at least wouldn't try.
We had to give it a shot.
We actually put in the order at 1 minute to 10.
Yeah, before the site got well and truly busted.
Yeah, because the site...
And it got busted.
It got boned pretty hard.
Yeah.
It was chugging when we got our order through, but then a minute later, the
It
site
was
just crashed.
Completely down.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
And they sold out within 2 minutes. Completely. And then there's not even mentioning all of the online retailers who just basically got pre-orders and they can't fulfill them
Yeah.
because the scarcity is such that it's basically just fucked loads of people.
Yeah, I mean, GW has actually, issued, a proper, we fucked up statement. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
okay,
Wow.
okay, GW, do that, but also stop fucking being dicks about, how many units you're putting out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of those things unless... I think it's a little tricky because they did have to guess how many people would want them, and
Yeah.
it's very whilst manufactured scarcity is a thing, it's also quite possible that they just
hecked
really
up. Yeah, no, I am assuming the worst, but when it comes to big corporations, I tend to.
Yeah.
I'd rather err on the side of caution and maliciousness.
Yeah, absolutely. I do understand that position. But we did manage to get one, and of course, to tie in with that coming out, we put out our Codex Compliant on the 2nd edition Sisters of Battle, which, when you hear my lovely mouth words, will be out, and you can watch it.
Yeah.
But whilst I am saying them right now, is currently half edited, and I have a ridiculous panic to get everything edited together in time. So yay! That'll be good.
And I'm not helping because my mental health is being a butt. So Wib's literally just doing everything on his own and trying to jab me into doing stuff.
Doing the bits you need to do.
Yeah. So hashtag pray for Wib. He is a lovely boy. And
It's fine.
He works very hard and he has to put up with me.
It's fine. But also, we should probably say a big thank you to the couple of guests we had in that episode.
Yeah.
One is Oculus Imperia, who we've had as a guest before.
Yeah.
And we've also had on the podcast, and is a very lovely gent.
He is a good boy.
Who agreed to do a little line for us. And also, to fucking Gav Thorpe, who agreed to be in the video.
Oh, that guy. Isn't he something to do with Fight Weapon Future Year?
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Gav very generously decided not to immediately block me when I reached out to him on Twitter, and was an incredibly lovely dude.
Yeah, we very much appreciate it, Gav,
Yeah.
because obviously you're listening.
Yeah, but,
Oh my god. Okay, there's the whole bit we're doing where we're like, haha, but no, seriously, oh my god, shut up.
But yeah, no, a big thanks to Gav Thorpe for showing up. It was fun to be able to include him in our absolute nonsense. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is this peak Gav Thorpe now, and after this it's now finished, or does it still just continue forever?
We are gonna be riding this into the sunset, my man.
I feel that it's probably going to be one of those things that is forever acknowledged. Yet this is probably the biggest deal we'll make about it.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's just, oh my god.
How can you really top having Gav Thorpe say it?
It's like, you can't.
I mean, you could get up enough money so that, like, if anyone says the name Gav Thorpe, he actually turns up at their house, and we just
punches them.
No, I was just open the door and he just has a shot and then wanders off. And then, like, if you live with, like, your partner, they've opened the door, they'll be like, what just happened?
And then they'll know. To be fair, I was in Games Workshop the other day, and like there was a couple of people, like one of the guys working there, and a guy who come in just raving on about a book Gav Thorpe had written, and I was like, I don't have any vodka on me right now, but I can fix that. So, we don't say what you can take a shot of, so if you want to take a shot of, say, like, Wraithbone, like, you can. It's not advised.
Please don't. If anyone... Don't
drink paint.
This is we don't normally do calls to action on the MisanthroPod, but we're going to put out a call to action. Don't drink paint.
No, I wrote a song about it. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Don't drink paint.
That was good.
Good.
Thanks.
That
yeah,
was good.
I spent so long on that, boy.
You spent at least 4 picoseconds.
12 pico? Maybe. Yeah, whatever. I'm an artiste. But yeah, that was surreal and an amazing experience. Not drinking paint. Like. Yeah.
Hope you all like the video.
If you don't, we'll fucking kill you. We won't.
No. We'll
raise enough money to get Gav Thorpe to go to your house and just drink heavily in front of you.
It's the obvious answer. But anyway...
And he'll leave the door open so it gets a bit chilly.
Anyway, we should move on to what we have been doing for the last couple of... Oh, shit, actually, I forgot to mention, we were also on Warp Time Radio.
Oh, yeah, that
nice.
whole thing. That was a lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah, so...
It's the last couple of weeks have been a blur for me, so that's my excuse.
Yeah, so if you want to hear us talk more about the Warhammered 40,000... go check out the... I can't remember what episode number it is, but it says our name in it. It's one of the recent episodes of Warp Time Radio.
And one of my favourite parts... No, my favourite part about the image they use, because what they have is they have the 3 hosts there, you know, and then they have Caitlin in the middle with her crystal ball. And they, like, if they have a guest, they put like their preview image, their like avatar in the ball. What they did with us is they took Wibb's Twitter avatar, which is him looking all stoic and mysterious and handsome.
I
in
thought
his
depressed was...
Okay, so like if I think you just look really miserable all the time, why would I find that attractive?
Okay, fair point.
Yeah. So, and he's got the bylighting on him, and there's half of Wibb's face, and then my current Twitter avatar, which is the worst picture of me ever, which is me, like, for the Halloween video from one of the bloopers, me, like, looking a little bit kind of like, what is it, buzz-eyed? Where my eyes are both going in, like, the wrong kind of direction, and I'm just, like, my chin has just been fucking teleported out of existence, and I look... horrible. I look like that weird picture of Walter White that someone had animated so that his forehead wrinkles and his neck wrinkles were constantly, like, moving. And they've just got, like, Wibb there looking really cool, and then there's fucking me. And I'm like, bring me Solo and the Wookiee! It's amazing. That is the best and worst photo I've ever had taken of me.
But yeah, go check that out. If you go on our YouTube channel, the VOD is in, because we have a little thing at the bottom of our channel that has any cameos or appearances we make on other channels. And so it's in there if you want to see it.
And because, I mean, obviously I know, but just for the people who don't, this is a YouTube thing?
It's done on Twitch Live.
Okay.
And then they pop the VODs on...
on Scarlett's Twitch channel, just Scarlet Kingdom.
Okay.
And then it's put up onto YouTube afterwards.
Yeah.
Good, yeah, I knew that.
They have like a call-in segment for their questions.
That was really weird, but really interesting, like a proper old-timey radio show.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Which we do, except we're not going to.
We'd love to do that, but we're not going to.
No, it's a really cool idea, but Mike...
But what we could do is because we're on episode 91 and episode 100's coming up.
Oh, shit.
We could look into it. We need to do something for that.
Yeah, we could do the podcasters approach and just invite every guest on at the same time.
God.
Or we could cover ourselves, all three of us, in Vaseline and go up a tree.
I'm not sure how that would make a podcast.
It didn't work last time.
Okay, that's fair. But we could record the audio this time, Matt. Yeah, just scorching all over each other. We could pretend we're snails.
I just want to be pure.
I want it to be pure. I can be Danny DeVito snail. And you can be... Who do you want to be?
Can't we all just be Danny DeVito? Because we all really want to be Danny DeVito.
Be Danny DeVito. Drummer Matt can be like the Blue Ranger.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Billy from the original one.
Is there a logic here, or are you just naming random pop culture ephemera?
Don't ask the questions. Oh God, don't ask the questions.
Okay, so it's a very specific thing.
Okay.
Drummer Matt's the Blue Ranger because he's a sciencer.
Okay.
And he does science.
Okay.
Which, Billy was a sciencer because he had glasses.
And he did wear dungarees a lot.
He did, yeah.
Ooh.
So that's another thing. I'm Danny DeVito because I'm the most pure. And I'm the shortest. And the roundest, like a little eggy. And I'm just good.
Okay.
And I think that Danny DeVito, if he met me in real life, would be like really impressed with how cool I am. And you would be cosplaying as Tails from Sonic Boom, but covered in Vaseline.
Okay. Why do we have to be other people?
Because it's part of the plan, Matt. It's part of the plan. You know the plan?
I don't know the plan.
Yes, we agreed on this.
We did not agree on this. This feels like something that you wrote on the back of a napkin and decided for yourself.
No, we didn't.
The plan where we cover ourselves in Vaseline, climb a tree, pretend to be snails, and also other people?
No, we're pretending to be
occasionally pop culture characters
and
and sometimes actual
We're
people.
pretending to be the people we are, who are cosplaying as the characters.
Okay.
So we're snails.
We're still snails.
We're Danny DeVito, Billy from Power Rangers, and Tails from Sonic, cosplaying as snails.
Okay, right, good.
That's why it connects.
Yep, right.
And then we can hire someone to pretend to be like Dry Bones from like the Super Mario franchise, and just basically throw bones at us.
Okay, and why would this be a podcast?
Because we would be talking the whole time.
In character?
Yeah.
Hang on, in character as the people, or in character as the snails that the people are cosplaying as?
Well, that's the thing. Every 30 seconds... Every 30 seconds that this changes, then it adds like a 5-second onto it.
Okay.
We basically swap characters from a snail who is giant, dressed like our character.
Can the snails that we're talking as, can they talk?
Yes.
Okay.
Just in no language that we can understand.
Okay.
So we're going to have to make up our own language.
Okay.
On the language fly. Of the... No, snails.
Oh, 7 out of 5. Best joke.
Thank you, Drummer Matt.
I'm going to take a big old gulp of my drink and just live with this.
I mean, you do live with this. Is that a problem?
Well, it wasn't before today.
I mean, really, though. Really?
Matthew, what the fuck? What the actual fuck have you been doing with yourself for the last 2 weeks? I need to fucking know.
So I was up in Derby for a week, which meant that I didn't have any time for anything, which is good. But I felt guilty as to not playing a game to talk about on the podcast, and then conveniently enough, podcast recording got delayed a day, so I had time to play a game. Which definitely wasn't something that I quickly installed last night and then played through in an evening. Honest.
What was it then?
I played, and I'm going to pronounce it like this because it'll annoy at least one person, which is future me when I listen to this podcast. The game Gris, which is definitely pronounced
Gris.
Gris. Gris. And that's how I'm saying it, and that's how I'm sticking with it.
It's I can't remember what European language it is, but it means the word grey, the colour.
Yeah,
It's in French, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and yeah, I know that. But I was making a joke. Anyway, it's actually Spanish, but I don't know if the Spanish for grey is the same. But it's actually a Spanish game.
I think it is Spanish. Yeah. Oh my god, the music in that game is phenomenal.
The whole game is great. So I guess for context, it's a 2D side-scrolly platformy type thing, but it's not like a pixel art type game. It's like
it looks like a watercolor.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, it starts off in like black and white, and as you progress through the game, you sort of unlock more colours, and the sort of world gets more colourful. And it's beautiful in terms of like art, and yeah, the music is great. I had to play it because I was playing it on my laptop, because I guess it's continuing a trend of trying to find games that I can run on my laptop, and I don't know if it's linked to that, but I've just played so many games recently that don't have any spoken word or writing in. They're just like, you just sort of make up the story and you infer the story.
Kind of
yeah. But I'm enjoying it at the moment. It's quite a good run of games, and it's just very beautiful. I finished it in about 3 or 4 hours, and it's like moderately difficult platforming, but not really. It's enough of a challenge to think a bit, but it's not like I didn't like get stuck and have to look up how to progress. But it's just very pretty and a very enjoyable few hours.
Oh, good. So we've got it, and I've been meaning to play through it, but
same.
because it's like, I felt like it's one of those games that requires like actual, engagement with. So I'm like, I want to be in the right frame of mind to play.
You want to be able to like be in the right headset.
Yeah. And I just haven't been, so I've just not got around to playing it yet.
Yeah.
Because the 15 minutes of it I've played, I was like, oh, this is great. I like this.
I do want to play it again on my actual PC because I had to run it at the lowest. There's no graphics options apart from resolution, and I had to run it on the lowest resolution, which was about 600 by 400 odd, or whatever those numbers are.
Oh, Jesus.
But because it's sort of watercolory and you're sort of zoomed out quite a way, it wasn't like playing an FPS, which is at that resolution. It was sort of fine. I mean, but I do want to try it again at like nice HD. But yeah, it's a very good game, very enjoyable and relatively relaxing. But yeah, the story is quite. I mean, there's not much of a story in terms of like you sort of have to infer, like I said, but it's quite pleasant. Yeah, good. I don't have much more to say on it, to be honest, but I enjoyed it a lot. If anyone else has recommendations of games that I already own and I can run on my laptop, I don't know how people could do that, but like.
So telepathically, just like psychically, just know what specs are on Matt's laptop is, and then tell him games that he already owns that hasn't played. Dude, what the fuck?
I do have Little Inferno installed, but you Wib, I think, talked about that relatively recently, so I was like, well, I can play that, but if I can't talk about it, what's the point?
I mean, like, he's talked about it, like, about a year ago.
I talked about it a bit to do with the charity stream, I think, because I played through it then.
Okay.
Well, I didn't play through all of it, because the 40k game happened.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That was a big thing.
That is like a couple of days of my life that are just a haze.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm afraid that's all I've got.
Okay, fair enough.
Snipe, I believe you are next.
Yes!
What have you been up to?
Yes. Well, there's one thing I'd like to get out of the way. So I created a special group on WhatsApp with just us three in it.
Yeah, I saw.
Didn't I?
Yeah, it terrifies me completely.
So I was out on one of my walks today.
Yeah.
And I walked past an estate agent that had this outside.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Why? Oh God! Why does it have a dick?
Oh.
Oh my! Why?
So for those who can't see the image,
which is everybody listening, because this is an audio-only format.
I wanted live reactions. This is an image of like the animal mascot clothing. It's a red dog with its tongue hanging out, with a big yellow shirt that says Humphrey Hound, something about student fucking loans because real estate agents are scum. and creepy like broken mannequin legs sticking out with really large shoes.
Yeah, I mean, it's horrifying enough just on that base level.
Yep. And the thing is, from looking at it, walking past it, I didn't know if there was a person in there or not.
Oh.
And then I took the photo and realised, yeah. But also there was a woman who, like, before I pulled out my camera, or my phone, she, like, she kind of slowed down, gave, like, the side eye, and walked really far out, nearly into the road, just to walk around it. It was so funny. But, like, it just fucking made me laugh that real estate agent has its own persona.
Yes.
And it's a bad one.
It's a bad persona.
It's a creepy... Yeah. It's like they're trying to be down with the kids and whatnot. And they just can't do it.
Okay.
But also it has a dick. I feel like we're glossing over...
It also has a dick because...
I believe it is just the way the seam at the crotch...
Yeah, we're glossing over the fact that it just has its wanger hanging
Do not
out.
gloss over the penis.
I tend not to.
The dog penis does not need to be glossed over.
I think that's the title.
Yeah.
But it's just the stitching. But yeah, I thought I'd do that to basically obfuscate the fact that I haven't really done anything. I haven't played any new games. I've been having a bit of a rough couple of weeks. And all I've been doing is focusing on, like, commissions, getting those done, drawing sexy flamingos.
That is the thing you've done, yes.
Which, Drama,
Nice.
I'll send you a picture afterwards. You'll love it. And knowing full well that he'll hate it, I finally started putting my spearhead detachment of Tyranids together.
Yes,
Ooh,
yeah.
nice.
That's a Warhammer related thing.
Yes.
But yeah, so like I've put my Trigon Prime together. He's undercoated. I've got he's like half finished paint wise because I'm just really enjoying painting something different. Unfortunately, I can't paint a lot of the accents because the paint I've ordered hasn't arrived yet, and I can't get it anywhere but online because it's such a garish fucking colour.
It's a specific type of...
It's fluorescent magenta by Vallejo.
Yeah.
And I couldn't... anywhere in town that sold Vallejo paints, couldn't find it. Like, Games Workshop has nothing, that even approaches that level of, vibrancy. So it was just like, shit, I gotta get this online. So now I'm sitting there with my fucking dick in my hands going, please arrive tomorrow. But yeah, and I've put together most of a Tyrannofex. And I've put together Old One Eye, who, honestly, the Carnifex kit is awful.
It is great.
Horrible to put together. Oh my Christ. So,
you were having trouble putting it together, and, because I have been... I've assembled hundreds and hundreds of kits.
You've been in the game longer than me.
Some of which are good, some of which bad.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'll take a look at it. And just the way the torso all attaches together means that it's basically impossible to get everything to line up.
It needs some significant green stuff work. It's not good.
Yeah, basically it's like, I'm sure that there's probably a knack to it. There's probably you just shave off this bit here and then it all fits together.
Yeah, but it's fucking irritating as shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so annoying. But yeah, and then you magnetized my Flyrant's wings for me.
Yeah, that was a bit of...
Because Flyrants, their wingspan is fucking significant.
So trying to transport those was how the fuck are we going to transport a flying hive tyrant?
Yeah.
But yeah, it turns out the arm segments, the shoulders that have both the arms attached to, that's just one segment. And so if you've got some really big magnets, you can just magnetize that entire segment, and it all locks in place because of the way that the two parts fit together. And then you can just take them off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's good. I can't wait to paint my baboos. They are lovely baboos. I'm also wanting to get some Tyranid warriors going, and I really want a, what is the big fleshy drop pod?
Oh, Tyrannocyte?
Tyrannocyte? I wanted to call it a Zoppy clone, which is a type of sleeping tablet. So
it
yeah,
is.
you win.
And you're thinking of the Zoanthrope.
I'm thinking of Zoppiclone, the sleeping tablet.
Well, no. Fuck off.
Oh god, did I tell you I phoned up the pharmacist the other day to get a couple of my medications, and the guy sounded like he was robbing the place.
Okay.
He was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'd like to order a prescription. He's like, name. So
Did he sound like Han Solo in A New Hope when he's answering the prison segment of the Death Star?
Yeah.
Hello, everything's fine here. I'm fine. We're fine. How are you?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm fine. Can I get my medicine? And he was like, okay. He was like, oh, but you were on 50 mil as this. And I'm like, yeah, but I want 100 mil. He was like, you want 150 mil? I'm like, no, I want 100 milliliters. And he was like, okay, yeah, okay, but the doctor put you on 50. And I'm like, yeah, and she recently put me on 100. And he was like, okay. And then he was just kind of like breathing for a bit, like, okay. And he was like, should be ready Wednesday after 3 p.m. And I'm like, okay, thank you. He was like, thank you. And I'm like, what the fuck? He was like, I think I just called some random dude. And he was like, no.
You called a pharmacy that was actually just a cryptid.
Yeah. The actual pharmacy answered.
It's like an SCP thing.
Yeah, it's got like, you know how like...
SCP-999.
Yeah! Actually, the SCP-112.
In the
that's
UK.
The non-emergency.
Anyway. Yeah, in the UK.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
111.
112 is international emergency everywhere.
Okay,
111
so yeah,
is the
ignore
like
me.
casual. I
The
think.
casual, yeah, I've cut myself, but it's not like I'm not gonna die, but I'm really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, ignore me. In Australia, the emergency number is 000. Just thought I'd put that out there. That's cool. But yeah, no, I like the
exchange
idea.
rates for you, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, I like the idea that I phoned a pharmacy, and it was the forbidden dark pharmacy, where like, you know, the DMC like 4 like Froggo that has like sexy ladies on its feelers.
Oh yeah.
It's basically a pharmacist where it's got like the feelers are just like people in lab coats who just get moved around, and I'm going, hi, can I have my antidepressants? And then it eats me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I mean,
I'm not depressed anymore.
yeah, but I guess I'm in a big monster's tum tum. So that's
my
cool.
concerns are very immediate.
Yes.
What you should probably mention is that we went to Warhammer World a couple of times.
We did. We went to Warhammer World once,
twice, three
3
times.
times a Necron?
No, we
a
went.
war boss.
We went twice because we went once with you, Matt.
Yes, and then we went with Idola.
Yeah, Idola Obscura.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So like, she brought her Alpha Legion, and I got wrecked.
Yeah,
Because it was you and her versus me, and like literally you were made of las cannons, and I was like, oh,
yeah. So
this is my weakness.
I feel I should recount a little bit of that game, because the one that we had with Matt, it was a similar setup in both games, where it was 2,000 points of Snipe's Dreadnought Wolf Army,
My Wookiee babies.
against 2 people who had 1,000 points each. And in the one where it was Matt and I had my Wraithguard Eldar, and Matt, you were running your town. And that went like, you know, it wasn't like...
There was an amazing moment, because I took my Imperial Knight. My Imperial Knight basically ran into the middle of the board.
Yes.
But I used her like in just an impromptu explosive device. She's amazing. So she runs into this big group and she gets destroyed. I roll a 6 and she explodes.
Yep.
It was amazing.
Yeah, because it had 1 wound left, and my Farseer, who was up on top of something, was quite close and just hurled her like... I assume it's supposed to be, or I guess it's like it shoots. I don't know.
Yeah, she throws her shoes.
No, her spear can shoot. I don't understand how it works. I think it's kind of like how Zelda's sword, how Link's sword fires in Zelda.
Zelda from the Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda from the Legend of Link.
What if Zelda was a girl?
And I shot down, and it blew up, and it killed like a huge chunk of fire warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It killed one of my Wraithguard that would just happen to be nearby.
It killed the 2 Fenrisian wolves I had left.
Yeah, it got my sniper drones, all 3 of them, and their controller dude, whatever he's called.
Yeah,
Sniper.
and the Farseer that had killed it. Mm-hmm. So it's like
I was just like, yeah.
Okay.
And 2 wounds to my crisis commander dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
it was amazing.
But
I lost, but it was fucking awesome.
In the end. However, the next game we played with Idola, I feel I should give a little setup here. So, because we didn't know what she was going to bring, and I knew what, and like she hadn't fought a game in 8th yet. So knowing how awkward it is to fight Snipe's army, I was like, okay, well, I'll set up my 1,000 points like so that it's got some real heavy armor in it and can deal with the dreadnoughts. So my army was like just a patrol. That was an absurd one because I also wanted to take my Leviathan and put it in a big game for the first time.
I was not happy with that.
The problem is a Leviathan is a relic thing, so you have to have another heavy support choice in your army to be able to take it. Because that's sort of how relic things work, is that you need another one of its type. The only heavy support choice I currently have is a Land Raider. So my 1,000-point force consisted of a Land Raider, a Leviathan Dreadnought, a 5-man tactical squad in a Razorback, and a Primaris Lieutenant and Captain. That was it.
Bullshit.
Then it turned out
hated
it turned out Idola had a shitload of las cannons as well because my Razorback had las cannons. So
She
it meant
had
that
so many.
It meant that we had a back line that was like 10 las cannons. And
Yeah.
against dreadnoughts, that doesn't go well.
That punches holes in them.
To put this into like context of how well this worked, in turn 1, my Land Raider shot at Snipe's Knight because
Took 14 wounds off her.
yeah, first
She has
turn.
24 wounds max.
Yeah,
First turn, first fucking shots, 14 wounds lost.
wasn't like after everything else it reduced to like 3 wounds in the first turn or something.
She was down to 4 in the first turn.
Yeah. And then, of course, I was quite shocked because though I'd used my Leviathan Dreadnought in a game on stream, I hadn't used it in a full-size game yet. I'd only used it like in little things. So I was sure that because I'd also finished painting it, that it was going to die instantly because that's how it works, isn't it?
I was really hoping so, but the thing is, I didn't do any damage to that with my las guns or my missile launchers. I did like 3 wounds to it with bolter fire.
Yeah.
That was it.
You
I rolled so poorly.
You did land quite a few shots in it by the end. It was on 3 wounds, like at the end of the game.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, you did. It was
It
really.
was Idola's like Hellbrute that had just kept wounding itself and instead of doing anything.
Yeah, it had a plasma cannon. I don't think that thing ever actually landed a shot of
It
anything.
didn't. It lost like 4 wounds. It lost like a wound every like turn, without fail, because it was just fucking up.
Yeah, but yeah, I found that Leviathan Dreadnoughts.
I really want one, and they're bullshit.
Because I've run it with twin Grav Flux Bombards. They can one-shot Dreadnoughts really easily.
Yeah, he one-shotted 2 of my dreadnoughts, including
Beyond the Fell-Handed.
Beyond the Fell-Handed.
Oh,
So,
There was one where it was just like, okay, I have done 15 wounds to this dreadnought. Standard dreadnoughts have 8 wounds each. But the thing is, I only have like 1 non-venerable dreadnought in my army. So they have a rule where every time they take a wound, you can roll a die, and on a 6, they ignore that wound, which has saved multiple little baby walker boys. So I literally just picked up 15 fucking dice, and I was like, there is a chance! There was one where I think you did like 9 or something wounds, and I did make it out of it with 1 wound remaining, and then he just got killed the next thing that shot anyway. But it was worth it.
I think by the end of the game, the only things you managed to kill was you destroyed my Razorback.
I killed an entire squad of Khorne Berserkers.
And that was it.
Because, well, they charged my dreadnoughts. And
one of them had a heavy flamer, so
yeah, it was like 9 shots or something stupid. I can't remember, but yeah, it was just like, yeah, okay, right, just gonna beat the fucking shit out of you.
Yeah, but no, that didn't go well for Snipe's babies.
No,
but we did inadvertently create the hardest of hard counters to a dreadnought army, which is las cannons, nothing but fucking las cannons.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
It was a whole thing.
Yes. Okay, I've been playing The Sims 4 University, which is fun. Yeah, it helps my depression. Also, I've been doing really well with my weight loss. I'm at 98 kilos now.
Cool.
Yeah, but then it's slowing down a lot because I'm bulking up because I'm so muscular. Yeah. That's pretty much all I've been doing. Wib,
Yes.
Save this podcast.
go. No, he can't. Go away. Wib,
Yes.
bake me a potato.
No, we don't have any potatoes in
Go
the house.
get me a potato.
No, it's too late.
It is not.
It's too late. I can't be bothered.
Oh. Okay,
Instead,
podcast is over. Goodbye,
Instead,
everyone.
I could talk about what I've been doing recently, which is
Yeah, but it's
sort
all
of...
about sci-fi, and that's all you ever talk about.
I mean, yeah, that's because sci-fi is the best.
Yeah, do they have potatoes in sci-fi? No, checkmate atheists.
They do,
No.
yeah.
Where? And Kevin Sorbo doesn't count.
Okay, so I shall talk about what I have been doing. I shall try and get us back on track.
Take it away, girlfriend.
Okay. First off, I haven't done much on the video game front because what I did as sort of an idle thing to do whilst I was kind of chilling out was I've started a new save on the Binding of Isaac. Like I want to basically go through the game, unlocking it, and get to defeating Hush again. That's sort of an aim, so I've been chipping my way through that because it takes a while because you have to beat the game like several times just to unlock each new layer of boss. So I'm going through that again. I also started playing Papers, Please.
Ooh.
Because I realised I'd never actually got around to playing it. So I think we were saving it for like a Let's Play and that just never happened. So I'm like, fuck it, yeah, let's actually just play that. I'm only like 5 or 6 days through, but yeah, it's a very good video game.
It is very good.
I really appreciate how it like amps up the fucking pressure of like, if you make too many fucking mistakes, yeah, your children are just gonna fucking starve. Like I already got the ending where you go to jail.
I had a dream I got arrested and went to jail.
Was it for anything fun?
I can't remember. I think McDonald's was involved, so probably.
Yeah.
You know what I'm like.
But yeah, thoroughly enjoying it. If you don't know, because I mean, I guess it was from a few years ago. Papers, Please was a game that came out where you are a border control officer on a faux, like, Soviet bloc country called Astoka.
Glory to our Stotka.
And you have to, like, check people's passports and documents and let people in or deny them. And the more people you let through, the more people you process, the more money you get. So you are able to then feed your family because you're always on the poverty line. And sometimes they get sick. And, you know, you'll be like, oh, I can't pay for food today, so they'll get hungry and things like that. But of course, if you just keep letting people through, then you start getting citations if they don't have the correct paperwork. And also, if you turn people away for no reason, you have to do that. So you have to try and balance, like, doing it quick with being thorough. And
two things that cannot coexist.
Because you're, like, checking out all their things, and then you can, like, interrogate people and like, you know, question them about inconsistencies. So, like, there's one person who their photo didn't match, and so I interrogated them on it, and they were like, why do you look different to your passport photo? And it's just the years have been cruel.
Yep. Next time that like anyone bullshits about my ID, I'm just gonna say that the years have been cruel.
And then so I did like a fingerprint test on him, and then it turned out it was him. So it was like, okay, so you let him through.
But that means you're slowing down. You're not admitting people.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it escalates as little stories running through it, and it's just a really interesting little game. Like the whole idea of games that are like replicating the monotony of real work that people have to do, but also demonstrating like the fucked up nature of a lot of it.
Well, I think it's just like it's a beautiful and miserable and darkly humorous take on basically living from paycheck to paycheck in quote unquote an unskilled job. Whereas it's an incredibly, like, all these quote-unquote unskilled jobs are incredibly difficult.
Oh, yeah.
And take a lot of skill. And the harder you work, the less you get paid.
Generally. But yeah.
What I'm saying, comrades.
But yeah, it's a cool game. It's it's one of those interesting things that I feel fits into that idea of that games don't have to be fun. Sometimes they can just be about giving you an interesting experience. Because I wouldn't call Papers, Please fun.
No.
I like the old guy. The old guy.
Oh, I always forget his name.
I can't remember his name, but he's always pretty good natured about. Have you completed it?
No. It takes quite a while to beat the game.
Okay.
I've encountered. Yeah, there's an old guy that keeps coming up with increasingly
obviously fake passports.
There's
one that he's like drawn in crayon.
Yeah, I've had that one. Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's like, this isn't even from a real country, so.
And he's like, you got me, Tobias, you're good. Yeah.
No, it's
and
like,
he goes,
it's like, okay, I'll come back with a better passport.
And you're like, yeah, be sure.
If I remember rightly, eventually he does show up with completely legit paper.
Yeah, and you're like, I know that this isn't legit, but also it is, so there's no reason to turn him away.
Yeah. Like you literally scan it in every single way, and it's just perfect.
Yeah, because I've seen someone do that bit, and it's like, But yeah, so cool game. I'll be playing more of it. Probably won't mention it next time because there's not a lot to say about it. But go play it. It's interesting. And yeah, I was gonna say it's interesting. It's cool to play games that sometimes that aren't necessarily fun. It's like there was a recent H Bomber Guy video about Pathologic, which
the best game that sucks.
The best game that you can't recommend to anyone.
Yeah.
Which I was actually going to give that a shot.
Well, I mean, we've got like Pathologic 2 seems like I've heard it's like this is way better. It also cannot be recommended.
No, Pathologic 2 is like just good from what I've heard. They basically have fixed all the things that made the first one unrecommendable. So I definitely want to give that a shot, but I want to have a proper like try at the Pathologic, even though I've heard it's the sort of game that you'll probably play for a couple of hours and then get angry with and put down.
Well, I mean, that's literally how you started out, and Drummer Matt started out playing Dark Souls, and then 6 months later you were both like, actually...
I don't think I progressed past that stage, to be honest.
No, Matt did not. No.
Oh, who was it then?
I don't know.
I tried.
There was someone else, but yeah.
I was the one that got Stockholmed into liking Dark Souls.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool game. But apart from that, I have been watching several television shows.
Ooh, several.
So much pornography.
No, it's all science fiction. Unsurprisingly.
Science fiction pornography.
I wish.
Yeah, me too.
So I finished off watching Farscape.
I just want to fuck a Hannah.
That's fair. Everyone wants to fuck a Hannah.
I mean, it'd just be like, like basically just throwing your naked form into like this big warm like waterbed.
Hannah's are the big jellyfish.
This one is so turned on right now.
Hannah is different to just Hannah, presumably.
Yes, they are big jellyfish from...
Big stupid jellyfish.
From Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blasto.
Are they sentient?
Blasto. Yes.
Okay, so they can consent.
Yes, and they have this really cool thing where they refer to themselves as this one. Because, like, you don't refer to yourself as, like, I, unless in very, very close company, because it's considered incredibly rude and improper.
Oh, they're the auditors from Discworld.
No, but yes, but no.
Yeah. But yeah, I also want to have sex with, what are the big boys with the...
The Elcor.
Elcor! God, I want to fuck an Elcor. Like, genuine arousal. You look so hot today.
Anyway, I'm going to talk about the sci-fi.
I want to talk about fucking sci-fi like creatures.
I do not.
I don't give a shit about your fucking topics.
I watched the end of Farscape. Finally beat it. I finally beat Farscape.
You finally beat the game.
Yeah.
So did you unlock Did you unlock Harvey?
I unlocked.
Did you unlock the costume?
I unlocked the happy ending.
Oh.
Well, happy-ish, mostly happy, like 90% happy.
That's better than I thought for Farscape.
Yeah, because Farscape is bad things happening to John Crichton for 4 seasons. But yeah, I was really happy where it ended. They had to do a sort of Firefly thing where they got to the end of the series and then they had lots of and then they got cancelled, so they had lots of unresolved things, so they then made a pair of TV movies to finish off the thing.
It's that fucking cancel culture.
It's terrible. But yeah, it was kind of cool. The TV movies are a little weird because like it was obviously done several years after, so everyone looks like it's supposed to be set like a few months after the end of the series, but
Life's been hard.
But obviously everyone's aged several years.
I mean, it's like that part in Evil Dead 2. Like, Bruce Campbell reaches for the door handle, and basically from that moment, they cut for 2 years because they just ran out of money. And then the next thing where it's back on his face, he's, like, slightly visibly older. Because, like, oh my god, because I've got, what was it? Into the Woods, which was, like, a Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell thing.
That was like his college film,
That was like his
wasn't it?
university film, yeah. And then, like, Evil Dead 1, he's still, like, super baby-faced and really adorable. And then Evil Dead 2, he starts getting, like, you know, the lines in, and then...
Shit, yeah. Okay. This is kind of irrelevant to things.
That never stops me, please.
Fair. I completely forgot about this. There is a movie from 1997, a Herbie movie.
Herbie!
That stars Bruce Campbell.
Okay, what?
And it features an evil black Volkswagen Beetle as an evil Herbie because... if I remember rightly, it's basically what happened because Herbie's like a personification of goodness, and this is like the other side of that because the Volkswagen Beetle was designed in Nazi Germany, and they acknowledge it.
Oh my god! So there's a Nazi
origin.
Beetle.
There's a Nazi origin story to Herbie in a 1997 Herbie movie starring Bruce Campbell.
Dude,
I completely forgot about it.
How did I not know about this?
Yeah, what the fuck?
I completely forgot that I watched it as a kid. Like, evil Herbie's even got, like, angry eyes on his...
It's got, like, swastikas on the doors or something. I was like, fucking what? Oh my god.
It's really fucking weird. I'm gonna have to track it. Apparently, it's not been released on DVD.
I fucking wonder why. Oh, I want to get that shit on Blu-ray. I want to see evil Nazi Herbie.
I need to watch it again to see if it's as fucking bizarre as I remember.
Are you sure you just didn't do a fuck ton of absinthe one day?
Possibly.
When you were, like, 9?
I saw someone reference it on Twitter, like, 2 days ago, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, that movie.
Oh my god. I'm still gonna watch Evil Dead 2, though.
But anyway, yeah, Farscape, good.
No Nazi VWs. No. Oh god, is there a Nazi fucking Volkswagen in Farscape?
There is a Volkswagen camper van.
Is it a Nazi?
It's not a Nazi one, as far as I know.
Good.
But the Peacekeepers are a little Nazi-ish. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Farscape is weird. There are a lot of things in it that, given its age, are like, you watch them now and you go, if this was made today, they'd be a little more sensitive about that wording. Ooh, boy. Yeah. But that's kind of true of watching basically any show that was made, you know, before, like, 5 years ago. But still, I thoroughly enjoyed watching through it, and I can definitely recommend Farscape. It's got its weird moments, and it's not perfect, but I think there's the kind of core thing of, like, the characters being really interesting, like, how, like, even little things like how John and Dargo become, like, proper bros is, like, just really sweet. And yeah, it's cool. All on Amazon Prime, including the Peacekeeper Wars, I found out, which I was very happy. They just hid them at the end of Season 4 rather than as their own thing, which is weird. However, also on Amazon Prime, I found out that Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda is on there.
Honestly, I walked in, and honestly, I would have preferred if you were watching some horrifying... Like, I would have preferred if you were watching Bible Black. Because Kevin Sorbo isn't in that.
Yeah.
Because, oh god, I hate Kevin Sorbo so much. He's such a twat.
He is a bad person.
Oh my goodness.
But the thing is, I remember watching Andromeda when it was new. Backstory. If you don't know, after Gene Roddenberry's death, one of his ideas for a series was taken and made into a full series, which was Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda. Now, the thing about Andromeda, I think I have spoken about it on the podcast before, but it was like very briefly because I only sort of like watched a few episodes of it because I managed to find them dirt cheap on DVD. But the whole of it's on Amazon, so I'm just watching through it there. Now, I don't know how much Gene Roddenberry actually wrote about this because I kind of suspect they found like a note on his fridge
It's like Kevin Sorbo is a fucking, like, Boy Scout in space.
It was Hercules in space. No, not like those weird Italian exploitation films.
God, Xena was the fucking shit. Just want to put that out there. Autolycus was one of my, like, crushes, which is literally... Basically, if Autolycus, Bruce Campbell's character in Xena Warrior Princess and the Adventures of Hercules, had long hair, he would literally just be Nathan, my D&D character.
Yes, he would. Yes.
Literally. I think that's who I based him on by accident.
I 100% believe that.
Yep.
But so I don't know how much, like, how in depth. I don't know if this was like a Clive Barker's Jericho situation where it was
where he just went, witches with guns, and then they went from there.
I don't know if it's that kind of thing or if he did have like a lot to do with it. But basically, the idea is there is a ship from. Basically, it's like the Federation that gets that through convoluted means ends up getting sent 300 years into the future after the collapse of the Commonwealth, as it's called, and
I'm okay with that.
And they attempt to build the Commonwealth back up because it is a time of lawlessness.
So they've got to make the Commonwealth great again.
Yeah.
Ew.
Now it's got some interesting points in the show, but overall it just kind of botches them. And I put it on Twitter that one of the big problems with the show is that it involves a lot of people like wanting to join a federation with Kevin Sorbo. So that involves people having to spend 15 minutes in a room with Kevin Sorbo without wanting to punch him, which my suspension of disbelief will not carry that far.
It can only go so far.
It can only go so far. So overall, it's kind of like... It reminds me of like the parts of Star Trek Enterprise where they're trying to like create the Proto-Federation, but worse by every metric, because the characters are mostly shit. There's one thing though that is really weird. So there is the people who fought against the Confederacy and toppled it are a race called the Nietzscheans, and they are based on the ideas of Friedrich Nietzsche.
Nietzsche.
Well, Nietzsche, yeah.
Nietzsche.
But they say Nietzsche in the show.
I know. It's just like that was me basically making a joke, and now I'm going to explain it. But yeah, like loads of people get really cranky. It's like, it's Nietzsche. If you'd have read it, fuck you.
I've read a bit of it.
Yeah, I've read the Birth of Tragedy.
He's a pretentious fucker.
Yeah, I read the Birth of Tragedy, and it was just it was insufferable to read. He was so up his own dick, and he even admitted it years and years later that book sucked, and he was being a fucking arsehole.
Yes. But I need to read you the Wikipedia entry because every bit of it is cursed. This is how it describes the Nietzscheans. Nietzschean, a species of genetically engineered humans who follow the works of Friedrich Nietzsche, social Darwinism, and genetic competitiveness. They claim to be physically perfect and are distinguished from ordinary humans by bone blades protruding from their forearms. The race's Latin triominal designation is Homo sapiens invictus, which means undefeated thinking man in English. They originated on the planet Fountainhead, orbited by Ayn Rand Station.
They're basically ANCAP Nazis in space.
Yes. They're the worst. You just see him sitting around reading fucking Ayn Rand. It's the worst.
That is insufferable. I'm with Francis.
They are the bad guys. They are the bad guys, but they're like so comedically the bad guys. Like they don't function as a race at all because they basically like if you play a game with them, they'll be cheating because they see that it's not cheating unless they get caught.
See, they should have. Brucey from GTA 4.
Yes.
How he's all like, yeah, genetically different, baby.
Yes.
If he had been like the Nietzscheans, I think they would have been a lot more endearing.
Yeah, I think...
And still bad, but, like, at least entertaining and not basically sitting around huffing their own farts.
I think they were trying to make them be like the genetically engineered people in Star Trek, like Khan and his army, like
Khan
from the Eugenics Wars. I think they were trying to go for a thing like that, but, like, trying to expand that idea. But they basically created a race that was full of people that were all comedically selfish to the point that the idea of them having any kind of like ruling ideology just doesn't make sense, because there's no way that any of them could work together for more than like 2 minutes. But yeah, so that's the thing. Andromeda's not great. I've heard it gets way worse in the 3rd season.
Oh, good.
Does Kevin Sorbo have more screen time?
No, the original people running it left, and then it was left with people
Because they realised they had to work with Kevin Sorbo.
Presumably. It says a lot that the most likeable characters in the show are probably the Nietzschean that's in the main cast. So, yeah, someone who's pro-eugenics. And a character that is a reformed cannibalistic bat person.
Okay. Oh, the Magog.
The Magog. Yes, his name's Rev.
Bats.
I mentioned this
He's
when
a
I
pubert.
talked about it before. He's a
pubert.
Where the outfit for him made him look like they had glued pubes to his face.
Yep.
They did improve the suit a little bit after like the first handful of episodes.
Yeah, they got way better quality pubes.
Yes.
Like people who would like shampoo and condition them,
Yeah.
they just like glue.
The pubic quality of Andromeda was improved by about 5 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like they comb them with like a boar bristle brush and stuff.
Because no one else knows that, because no one else has got 5 episodes in.
That's true. I am the only person to have watched that far.
Watch us get a really angry fucking like email.
I know someone somewhere will have watched Andromeda and liked it, and God bless you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, but it's not a good series.
Hey, I like plenty of stuff that's shit.
Yeah?
I love Evil Zone, and that game sucks.
Yeah. There was a fun part where John Delancey showed up, so that was good.
Was he queuing it up, not giving a...
He was a villain. He's just fun to watch.
He is.
But yeah, in general, most of the ideas in it are things you've already seen in Star Trek, but done at least 30% worse. So, you know.
I mean, Kevin Sorbo. It's like a rule of like mathematics. Drummer Matt will tell you, because he's a maths sciencer.
Yep.
If you introduce Kevin Sorbo, he makes things between 30% to 70% worse.
Yes.
Just by being involved.
Yes,
yeah. It's very true.
That is like that's just maths. You can't dispute that. That's just
However, would the first God's Not Dead movie be better or worse without him? Because it's already like just propaganda.
I appreciate propaganda as a value neutral term, but in this case, it is a bad term.
He's like the straw-maniest atheist possible.
It's like, it's me, Vince Strawman. That's his name.
Yeah, might as well be.
Oh God, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I tell you what. Replace fucking. We're going there. If you replace Kevin Sorbo in those movies with like Cool Cat, it'd make them watch.
He's only in the first movie because he dies, and that's portrayed as a good thing.
Well, I mean, it's Kevin.
I mean,
Sorbo.
in the context of the movie, it's really fucked up. But
I
anyway,
cannot believe you committed suicide.
we're not talking about Neil fucking Breen.
That's my dad. Neil Breen is my dad.
Okay. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds to explain what we're talking about. But if you're familiar with Neil Breen...
Neil Breen, Google him. He's my dad.
He is, in certain ways, startlingly similar to Snipe's father. And once you know that, you will know why she doesn't speak to him anymore.
Oh God, it is so funny. He literally walks into a garage, and because Neil Breen likes making he's like Tommy Wiseau on crack. His character in this movie walks into the garage and his friend has just committed suicide, and he's cradling him, and I am not exaggerating. This is how he delivers these lines. I cannot believe you committed suicide. I cannot believe you committed suicide. And I'm still giving it too much emotion. He just can't act. And he's a super narcissist.
Yeah.
And it's honestly so funny, but kind of terrifying that he exists.
He is a terrifying individual.
Horrifying individual.
Anyway, Andromeda bad, but I'm watching it because I am a bad person?
No, you just like suffering. You're the definition of a fucking bratty sub.
I'm not sure that's the case, but you know what? I'm going to move on because I don't want to dwell on it.
Yep.
I have also watched season 2 of Final Space.
Ooh. Okay.
Have you watched that, Drummer Butt?
I watched the first series, and I haven't seen the second.
Oh yeah, you recommended it to him.
Yeah, because Final Space. Because I watched through season 1, and I was like, this is like a decent series that just occasionally the humor really doesn't land, and the main character yells all the time and is so fucking annoying. But like at his core, he is supposed to be like. He is like a noble character, but just he's annoying.
Ooh, is this the one with David Tennant as a villain, but you can't tell it's him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Because you started watching the second series or something because you knew that they apologised for how annoying he was or something.
Yeah, I watched the first episode of it because when I watched through the first season, the first couple of episodes of season 2 had aired in America, and so I watched like one of those, and it's come on Netflix now, so I'll watch through the rest of the season. So I won't give any spoilers to the plot, but I have got a few observations of it. One is that they have dialed down Gary Goodspeed, the main character.
Oh, is that his surname?
Yeah, his annoyingness has been dialed down so much to the fact that he's just not annoying anymore. He's just he's the character that I think they always wanted him to be. Of like, no, he's just supposed to be an endearing kind of character, and they've just let Kevin be annoying now, who is basically
fuck Kevin.
Kevin is basically Rimmer. He's there to stop Gary from going insane from being alone for so long.
Arnold Rimmer, without him life would be much dimmer. He'll never be mistaken for Yul Brynner. He's not bald and his head doesn't shimmer.
Glimmer.
Whatever!
Hey!
Now, every time I think of that, I get it stuck in my head for a fucking week.
Good. That's the intention.
Yeah.
Kevin's now more annoying, but he's supposed to be, and if he's just one character being annoying, then that's not such a big deal.
I still have a bit of a problem with characters who are supposed to be annoying being annoying. Like
He's
Claptrap, honestly, I just want to fucking set fire to the world.
Yeah, but he's mostly annoying to other characters, which is his intention. So, there's a big change around, so like the main cast sort of revolves around a little bit. But what really struck me once you get to the end of it is that Final Space, despite you looking at it, if you've not watched it, you'll go, that looks like Family Guy in space. Which, if that doesn't make your genitals feel like they're shriveling just thinking about, then I don't know what to say to you. But it's really not that. And the first season had a whole thing like where it had this like story, the actual main story like got to points and it actually was quite poignant. And you go, this could probably have the comedy removed from it and it be like a serviceable sci-fi on its own.
Maybe season 3 will do that.
Season 2 is like even more so. Like the overarching story, there's nothing funny about it. It's just a sci-fi story. And, like, the B-plot will usually be comedic, and obviously people are telling jokes throughout the whole thing, but, like, you sit there and you go, the basic narrative of this is all about, like, abandonment and, like, doing the right thing even when it's hard and stuff like that. And you're like, this is fucking weird, like, that this show, which should just be bollocks.
You mean it's kind of like how genital jousting has a really solid moral core?
Yes, Final Space is
the genital jousting of, like, Netflix TV series.
Yes.
Yeah. You heard it here first. Contact us for a blurb for the Blu-ray.
So yeah, I can definitely say give it a watch. Like, as I say, the comedy still, it doesn't always work. That's comedy, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But it's interesting, and it's got some fun little bits and pieces.
It sounds like it's got quite a bit of heart.
It does. Like, I'm trying to think of something that I can say without giving away any spoilers.
You told me a bit, and it sounded very nice.
Yeah, I'm trying.
But yeah, I don't.
Okay, I'll give one thing because it's sort of it's not really like reliant to the overarching plot or anything. So there is a character who has their future self becomes like a main cast member, and when the original one goes missing, you're left with this future duplicate and the main character Gary, who they in their own timelines are in a relationship with each other, but in their own timelines are different. So they obviously have an attraction to one another, but it's not them,
and it's all wrong.
It's a messed up kind of position, because it's like there's a phrase just like, we're meant to be but not meant to be together, and it's like that's like a really interesting kind of idea to explore, and it's handled in a really kind of earnest way. And it's like, this show should not be like this. There shouldn't be like these moments where like even comedic villains have moments of sincerity and actual emotional depth to them.
You know, like a good villain.
Yeah, it's bizarre, and this is all surrounded by obviously a lot of just dumb humor as well. That's just there. Yeah, so Final Space is good. Actually, one thing I forgot to mention. I've also started watching Bob's Burgers.
How's that?
Oh, okay.
Because I'd always been told it was like weird, it was funny and weirdly wholesome.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen of it in GIF forms, which is a lot, I like Tina Belcher. She is very cool.
Yeah. Now, I've also heard that season 1 is like not great, and it doesn't really get good until season 2. I'm like most of the way through season 1 at this point. I don't have to watch all of season 1. I can just skip season 2 because it's not like it's got hard continuity. But you know, I'm that sort of person.
You're a stubborn bum.
And I've got to be honest. I read like reviews of season 1, and people were saying like it's not good. It's just like trying to do the kind of Family Guy style humor, but it's got potential. And it apparently reaches that in season 2, but watching through season 1, I'm like, I can see, I totally agree with that thing, because yeah, I can totally see the potential, because when it works, it is very funny, and it's got the thing. But then every now and again, it'll just do a joke where you're like, fuck off with that.
Bit edgy.
There's an episode which basically is just lol trans people.
Ew. Okay, yeah, that can fuck off.
It's like, can you just not with that? Like, I mean, as far as those things go, it's not the worst that could be, but it has a lot of jokes in it where it's just like, even just the use of language in it is like, just, even this idea could have been done not shittily, but like, it's just every now and again there'll be a joke like there's a fucking like...
If you can't be funny without punching down, you're not fucking funny.
Like, the first episode has like a thing that is like, it is like making an autistic joke in it. It's like, oh, fuck off.
Oh, ew.
But like, I've heard from so many people that it's like, he's like wholesome, and there are moments of that, and that apparently, yeah, from second season onwards, it really works. But I don't know if it was like a case of that they felt they had to be edgy in the first season. That's made all those things that like really left a sour taste in my mouth.
Well, I mean, you've got like, I'm not standing up for people who use like transphobic or edgy jokes or anything like that, but kind of like, I see a lot of things where it's like Orange is the New Black. So the first season was not great. It was interesting, but not great. But it was like, well, then like the second season came out, it was completely different, and it was like, okay, this feels like this is what you originally intended.
Oh, it was.
Maybe like
it totally was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whereas, like, you know, the producers come in and go, "Oh no, you see, we can't have this. We have to have a white, attractive blonde woman, and like she has to be the main character. It has to be a fish out of water." And they're like, "Okay, fine." And then like they prove themselves that it's popular, and then they basically get the grace to do what they like. And like every comedy adult cartoon is always like, because fucking the old fucking board members sit there and go, "The kids like Family Guy, so we gotta make horrible fucking jokes and blah." So it's like, I'm not surprised if a lot of first series of like adult cartoons suck, because literally like people standing over the writers are going, "Oh, you have to put in like a really edgy joke, you have to do this, it has to be like Family Guy, this is a Family Guy killer," despite the fact it hasn't been relevant for like 6 years. But yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Not standing
maybe.
up for it, it's just I
Oh,
know
yeah.
that is a thing with a lot of stuff. So
I mean, like I say, I'm not saying that like the show's completely terrible or anything. It's just every now and again, it's just like they go for the easy joke, and it's always like just a bit off-putting because it's like that's just mean-spirited and it's unnecessary, and like it doesn't. I guess that's the thing; it doesn't match the rest of the show. Like the rest of the show isn't like that, and then it'll just occasionally do one of those jokes, and you're like, can you not? But yeah, I'm gonna again like basically everything else I've been talking about, you know, Andromeda and this. I'm gonna carry on watching them and see where they go. From what I understand, one is going to get a lot better, and one's going to get a lot worse. So you know, I guess it balances out in the long run. But that's me. I've apparently done nothing but watch television and edit videos. So. Yeah. So I guess then we must move on to those things, those emails that people send us that sometimes have questioning sentences on them.
They do they sometimes, and then sometimes people forget to put a question, then email again being like, "Oh, sorry, none of that was a question. Here's a question," which is quite good.
Like, well, I guess I'll stop blocking you now.
Oh, bless them. Snipe, what's the email address people should send their questions to?
Fuck my butt.
They shouldn't send it to fuck my butt. That will go somewhere else.
No, just
that goes to your other email address.
That goes to my OnlyFans email address. That's a relevant thing. It is onlydrummermat@at snipeandwib@gmail.com.
Yes, it's onlydrummermat@snipeandwib@gmail.com.
Yep, terrible fucking thing.
Yep.
Send them there. We will answer your questions on the podcast to some degree of accuracy and brevity.
So
Yes.
Basically, straight up, I buy the drugs by Electric Six there. Nice, I like it. Drummer butt, what's the question?
Okie dokie. So, first up, we have a suggestion from Geistertans.
Is it to go fuck ourselves?
It is not. No, it's a quick suggestion, which ends up being a long suggestion for the next annual Halloween movie.
Ooh.
Okay.
So it is called, pause for dramatic effect, The Haunted Palace. It is a 1963 adaptation of The Curious Case of Charles Dexter Ward. Which is a what's his name?
Lovecraft story.
Yeah, they're suggesting it just because it's really interesting to see how people's ideas of what constitutes a Lovecraftian movie have evolved. Ooh. So it's not quite as old as some of the ones he's done for Halloween, but it's not modern by any means.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
No, that seems cool.
I wasn't aware that existed. I'll have to take a look at that because I would be intrigued because like most of the things that people take out of modern adaptations of Lovecraft are mostly the overt racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully that's the part they usually ignore.
63, that'll probably still have it in.
So that might be an adaptation that still has that stuff intact, which would be interesting. And also, like these days, we tend to go more on the cosmic horror side of things, and I would assume that given the effects possible at the time, that it wouldn't go so hard on that. So I wonder if it'd go more on the psychological aspect. Yes, I want to see this now. That does sound good. Thank you very much for that recommendation there, Geistertans. I'll take a look. I can't say we'll probably do.
You'll definitely forget about it by next Halloween.
We'll definitely forget about it by next Halloween.
But we're definitely going to try and watch it though.
And we do have some ideas of what we would do for next Halloween, and let's just say it would be a lot older. But yeah, no, thank you very much for that recommendation.
Okay. Next up, some guy.
Some guy.
Just some guy.
Okay. Cool.
Their question for the three of us is twofold. One, which of the Primarchs, traitor or loyalist, would you say has the best origin in terms of how it's affected them and their legion?
Angron.
I mean,
Angron has
angry.
He that's Angry Ron. I don't know. I just think that's one of the most heart-wrenching ones.
Yeah,
and the most kind of like one of the most telling backstories. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean? Kind of like giving you a real good idea of like where the Emperor's brain is.
Yeah, because...
And how he's just so disattached, and he is such a bastard.
Yeah, that he basically took Angron's death from him. So the fact that because Angron was going to die an honourable death that he was okay with.
That he would be happy with, and the Emperor denied him that because, I'm putting together an intergalactic treehouse of boys who'll probably eventually kill me because I'm a fucking horrible dad. Or whatevs.
And his legion ended up the way it was because Angron was so broken by what happened to him, and that he just shouldn't have been put in a position where he was in charge of like an army.
Like the way like all of his like legion just fucking hate him.
Yeah, they don't like him. They don't.
It's horrible. It's like, yeah, no.
There's like a whole thing of like them stating like world eaters saying like when they look at the other Primarchs they get that awe, that feeling that they are in the presence of a demigod. But when they're in the presence of Angron, their own like gene sire, they're
just disappointed.
They just look at him and they just see a broken mess. Because he is, and he didn't have to be that way.
And I think that just, like, out of all of them, I think that's the most important, like, origin story.
I don't know, I'd say...
Well, no, I'm kind of just like, to me anyway, because it's kind of like, it's like, oh, the Emperor's not just this big cool guy, he's this, like, detached, cold, fucking... sociopath, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, with most of the traitor Primarchs, there's some degree of that. He killed Mortarian's like adoptive father.
Yeah, he's like, hey, guess what?
When Mortarian was wanting to do it himself, so he stole his glory from him. With Lorgar, he basically made every mistake possible.
Yeah.
With Magnus, he was like, just don't do the things that I obviously gave you the powers to do. Just like, don't do them, okay?
Like, it's like giving like a dog a fucking like cake and then being disappointed it eats it.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, you know, it's that
yes,
thing.
I'm saying Magnus is stupider than a dog. Because he is. Fight me.
Because basically everything that happens in the heresy can all be traced back to
the Emperor being a prick.
To the Emperor being a bad father. More importantly, I think it traces back to the whole idea that he didn't... it seems like he'd never really saw the Primarchs as sons, whereas the Primarchs did see him as a father. So...
It's the whole kind of like MGS4, like Big Boss hugging Snake going, I've never ever thought of you as a son, kind of thing. And it's just like, that's fucking heartbreaking. I mean, if you weren't going to die of natural causes in like conveniently 10 minutes anyway, he'd probably stab you in the neck.
Yeah.
And you'd deserve it.
But yeah, I think it does manifest very interestingly in different characters. Like Lorgar's is very interesting. Some are not super interesting. Like Mortarian's is interesting, but like
compared to a lot of them, it's kind of like okay. But yeah, Drama Matt, you're gonna say something.
I mean, Horus ends up having quite a big effect on things.
I mean, I guess he does, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of like importance, it's Horus and Lorgar, because Lorgar's like patient zero amongst the Primarchs for everything that goes wrong. But I mean, if it's like importance, then yeah, it's Lorgar or Horus, depending on how you look at it. But I personally, I agree. I've always really liked Angron's story. It's horrible, but like I always thought it was. I've just always been very impressed of how they took the character and faction
called Angron
that has all the depth of a saucer full of cold tea, and then actually crafted like something that was interesting from
like a heart-wrenching kind of
of that they were just a broken legion and that this was just inevitable with them. I think that vaguely answers the point.
Yeah, no, that's good.
What about you, Drumblebum?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to beat that, to be honest. It's just sad.
Yeah, it's sad, but like, it's grim and it's dark and it's sad.
It is, and it's grimdark at its best. We'll follow it up with a less grimdark question, and a more important question, I think.
Okay.
So, what is your favourite flavour of chip? And I'm assuming by the I'm apologies in advance, but the incorrect spelling of favourite and flavour, I'm assuming they mean what we refer to as crisp.
Yes, I would assume they are talking about what we in the UK call crisps,
which are potato chips.
I am a simple creature. I am a big fan of salt and vinegar.
I mean, salt and vinegar is good for crisps and chips.
True.
Conveniently enough, so it answers both questions.
You are wrong on both accounts, my man.
Oh yeah, no, it's not my favourite, but it's a good solid choice.
So,
what would you go with?
Well, Drama Matt didn't answer.
Okay, well, I will go for. There's a flavour that I had in France. I haven't seen them here, but it's like ghost cheese. Ghost cheese.
Ghost cheese. Ooh, it's pasteurized before you realised.
Goat's cheese and pepper, as in like spicy pepper, like chili pepper, not like salt and pepper.
How do you milk a ghost?
You gotta ask real nicely.
Feel like you're not dwelling on my sensible answer.
Betty.
You get the ectoplasm out of its.
Then you churn it.
Exactly. You churn it like butter. Yeah.
I'll churn thy ectoplasm.
And that's how you get ghost cheese.
Yeah, only the Amish make it.
Or alternately, is it like if you have a cheese that's particularly like ripe?
Ripe, as in like you've picked it from the cheese vine.
I mean, it's like particularly alive.
Oh, you mean you've picked it from the like fucking like under the floorboards of an ancient Victorian home with mold problems?
And then if you manage to kill all the mold in it, do we then get a ghost of it because it's
dead? Yeah.
Can you fumigate for cheese?
Not for cheese, but for the mold in the cheese, presumably.
Yeah, okay, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Which then it's really not a ghost cheese. It's more the ghost of the mold of cheese.
How do you get the ghost of like the rats and the bugs out, or is that like?
Oh no, but they're not necessarily going to be present.
No. But the thing is,
also, it's not necessary to get rid of them. Extra flavour.
Yeah.
More protein, I guess.
And I mean, I guess like it would still maintain.
Cheese is like full of fat.
It would maintain the cheese around the mold as well, because if ghosts maintain their clothes, then you could argue that the cheese is the clothes to the mold in cheese.
Oh, but no. Oh, I was thinking of mold on the outside, like like it's basically like in like upper middle class to like upper class cheese society, like a big mold coat is like the equivalent of like a big mink coat, like it was like in like the 50s and whatnot. So like you get like a roll of cheese just like rolling down the stairs. It's really exquisite moldy coat.
If we put aside the fact that you're treating cheese as a sentient entity, I know that there's someone.
Well, I mean, some of it is.
Depends how much mold is in it.
It depends how expensive. Like the grosser the cheese, the more expensive that bullshit is. You can get like millionaires to eat fucking anything if you just go like, hey,
coat it in gold, put squid's ink in it.
There was
stupid bougie fuckers
there was
eat it.
Fucking like I was standing in line at Boots today, and they were like, here's an impulse buy. It's Vaseline lip salve with gold dust in it, and I'm like,
piss off.
Fuck off. Actually, fuck off. And then they asked me to leave, but because I was shouting at lip gloss. But that's beside the point.
But anyway, I feel that at some point someone is going to be listening to this. Someone who knows an iota of information about how cheese is created. And just
a crumb of cheese.
I mean, I know
knowledge.
multiple people who are like work for cheese companies and things.
Yeah, well, if they ever listen to it, they'll just be like, yeah, I know they won't.
Are you kidding? MisanthroPod's the top-rated cheese discussion podcast.
Yeah. They're just going to listen to this and just go, this is not how cheese works. What are these
or
people
they're going to listen
about?
to this and go, shit, this is exactly how cheese works. We must shun the outsiders. They
Snipe,
must die.
what is your favourite crisp flavour?
My favourite crisp... Okay, so, like, I really like crisps, so, like, What?
Nothing.
My favourite, like, tortilla flavour is lightly salted tortilla chips.
Yeah.
I think those are really nice, but I also like Cool Tang flavour or ranch or like Cool Original or whatever they call it. My favourite like potato crisp is probably like an Australian flavour that I haven't had in years and years and years and years, which is called the Full Monty, which came out kind of in conjunction with the Full Monty movie, which is about like basically a bunch of ex-miners.
Dick flavour.
Yeah, no. It was literally they just put loads of flavours together. Like cheese and onion, all that kind of like barbecue. They just put it into one like thing, and it was really tasty. Also, like potato like chips, I really like cheese flavor. When it comes to, I really like prawn crackers. I know they're not technically a crisp, but they're really really good.
No, they basically
and there's another Australian thing I used to have, which was like a puffed crisp, which they were called Burgermen. and they were in the shape of men, and they were burger-flavoured crisps, and those were really, really tasty. There's a Polish one, I can't remember, but like they're like bacon flavour, and they're like a big airy bag, and they're the only bacon crisps I've ever tasted that are super tasty and not very greasy. And they are my absolute favourite crisps in the whole world.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd also like a special shout out
Brzezinski,
to
I think, or something?
I don't know.
It's Polish. They're very tasty.
Special shout out to roast beef Monster Munch.
Ooh.
Roast beef Monster Munch are pretty cool.
They're pretty good.
Beef flavoured Space Raiders are the fucking bomb.
They're fucking trash.
Fuck you! No!
You can feel your insides melting as you eat them. They cost like 20p a packet.
Yeah, they used to cost 10.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was a kid, they cost 10p, and that was like lunch. It was amazing.
Can we move on and
Yes,
stop just
we can.
listing crisps?
Next up, somehow Talis has got an email address.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask too many questions, but
No.
Talis, the actual D&D character, has got an email address.
Hello, Talus. Please stop making sandwiches.
So I'm gonna phrase this in the least spoilery way possible. But within Critical Role Season 2, there is a character called
Probably.
Caduceus.
Caduceus!
Caduceus makes corpse tea.
Yes.
As in he grows tea
He
from...
grows flowers and like tea leaves off graves and then makes tea out of it. So it's
Yes.
corpsey tea.
So, if we were to be killed or otherwise found dead in this campaign setting, what flavours of tea would our bodies produce?
Matt Mercer flavour. My brain literally said, if I die in like the Critical Role campaign, bury me in Matt Mercer's jean pockets. That's what my brain said, and now I've said,
Yes. Yes, that is how thought
Okay,
works.
so like, I would bet my fucking kidneys on everyone in this podcast right now would be willing to be buried in Matt Mercer's jean pockets.
Yeah, well, I'm dead fucking
I mean...
No, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean at all. And you know it.
I am not as familiar with the Matthew Mercer as you pair are. So.
Well, Drummer Matt, I mean, come on, man.
I mean, yeah, obviously. As long as he was okay with it.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
Which he probably would be.
I mean, he'd probably be like, it's an afternoon. So, yeah. Fair enough. So what flavoured tea would we make?
Yes, if you died and your bodies were used as fertiliser to make tea, or however exactly it works, what flavour would you make?
Well, all I'll say is that if I became out as Earl Grey, I'd be fucking pissed.
Yeah,
Earl
but
Grey
what tea
sucks.
would you prefer?
Well, I am working class British, so the only tea that I ever drink is like
Black
Black tea.
Just black tea, yeah.
like regular ass breakfast tea. Like,
Okay.
I don't think. I think if you actually cut me open, my blood is part like breakfast tea.
Okay.
So.
Drama,
That's
what
fair.
about you?
Well, Ruth had some tea that was like... It was like thyme and something. It tasted like gravy. And I feel like I'd make quite good gravy
was
tea.
it Bovril that she'd put milk and sugar
No. It was genuinely like in tea bags claiming to be tea. It was some sort of like sleepy nighttime thing.
I think Ruth just tricked you and put some like
some Bisto in
some
a cup.
Bisto in a bag.
Yeah, I mean, that would be moderately entertaining, but I think it's funnier that this tea exists.
Fair.
But yeah, it does. So yeah, I think I'd make a nice sort of hearty gravy-esque tea, which no one would really like to drink, but somehow it'd make them feel better about things.
Well, in that case, I'd be an ice blast.
Oh,
That is not a tea by
not a
any
tea.
metric.
Well, neither is gravy, but that
Yeah, but this is actually a tea.
Yeah, well, I could put ice in a bag and then be like, oh, it's tea.
No.
According to Drummer Matt, I can.
No.
Anyway, I'd be green tea. I like green tea, but I have to have sugar in it.
Is that
Well, not sugar, but it's like saccharin.
is that like a heathen thing to put sugar in it?
Probably, yeah, because there's always some dick who's like, hey, can't do that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no, I have to put a couple of sweeteners in it, because just on its own, it's a bit meh. But yeah, I like green tea. I'd be green tea, but then I'd be purple. I'd be purple green tea.
Purple green tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Purple green tea. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, next up. Norm again.
Hello.
I've had to see patients in A&E with bits of Hoover stuck up /to various body parts.
Hi again. Thank you for being so discreet on the submission form.
They are hard to X-ray. So, public service announcement. Please, can we tell the internet to use more lube?
Okay, everyone use more lube. Even if you don't think you need it, use lube. And also, always use the water-based lubricant, because the oil-based and other like lubricants like that can damage condoms and become unsafe. So always use water-based lubricant.
So not entirely a concern if you are using vacuum cleaners to have sex with. However, if you are using a condom in conjunction with that for some reason, then yes, water-based is the way to go.
Yep.
Okay.
And also,
question.
if you go into A&E with something stuck up your ass because you were like feeling like frisky or whatever, just tell them.
Just tell them.
They know.
You're gonna be a breath of fresh. They know, and just basically, if they say, okay, how did this happen? You go, well, bored, and they'll go, okay. And it literally, like, they won't be telling, because if you sit there and go, I fell on the Hoover while a condom was flying through the air. With my trousers
also,
down.
as a general rule, if you're going to do something like that...
Fucking own it.
Just go and save up a bit of money and just go get the relevant sex toy. They're designed for it. You're not going to get yourself injured.
Yeah, it's less embarrassing. But anyway, follow-up question.
Okay, follow-up question. Which appliance would you want to stick to /up any of the Primarchs?
Ooh, I definitely stick
a George up Vulcan.
A George Foreman grill?
No, the George that we were talking about last week.
Big Henry.
We saw him. We saw George in a shop window, and then I took a photo of it, and the guy behind the counter was really giving the stink eye, and I'm like, how if he comes out here and says, "Ask me what I'm doing," I can't say I was talking about fucking this vacuum cleaner last week on a podcast, and I wanted to take a photo of it. Luckily, he didn't come out, so it's fine.
Yeah, I was really just going for a colour scheme thing there, because George is green and Vulcan's got green armour. Mm-hmm. So.
And I really feel that Vulcan can suck.
He outsuck George.
Ooh,
I feel sorry for anyone that didn't listen to the last podcast, because then they've got to divine what the fuck is going on about the vacuum cleaners.
It's about sucking. It's fine. Jeremy, what about you?
Oh yeah, I don't know, appliance.
Just any kitchen appliance, or just any appliance?
Well, it just says any appliance. I think it's implied kitchen appliance, but well, I guess a Hoover isn't a kitchen appliance, so I guess any appliance.
What about Ferrous Manor? So probably fuck a toaster.
I'd pay to see that. I wouldn't enjoy it in a sexual way. I wouldn't enjoy it in any way. It's a curiosity. It's just kind of like I want to see how he fucks it.
Yeah.
I mean, does he have metal balls? So he's going to be like, pang, pang.
His hands are metal.
That's why he can't jerk off. That's why he's such a grumpy prick.
You made a fucking video about that
I
one.
did.
Isn't that on Instagram or something?
No, that's on my Tumblr.
It's on your Tumblr. Ah, yeah.
How he's grumpy because his hands are cold and they can't touch his wee-wee.
I feel you need to bring that post back.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and my answer, and I'm going to say it and then we're going to move on, is I'll just stick a blender up Gilliman because Ultramarines.
Oh, don't be rude.
I'm currently listening to the audiobook of Dark Imperium, and honestly, Gilliman comes across as actually a really cool guy.
He's badass.
Yeah?
He's going through the modern 40k Imperium and going, what the actual fuck have you idiots done?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So he's really cool.
He is just like there's little things where people are making up, because over the 10,000 years, people have made up quotes that he said, and he's sitting there going, I didn't say that, and they go, no, you did, and he eventually just gives up telling them.
I would, the hand mixer, where it's like, and people get their hair stuck in it all the time. I'd put one of those up Perturabo. Because I don't like him.
I'm more just bewildered by your description of a mystery appliance here.
Yeah, it's the hand mixer. You got it. Drama gets it.
You mean like the food mixer things that have got the handle on them and they've got the little
whisks
on the end.
The circle whisks.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I don't need the sound effects.
No, that's called a hand mixer.
It's not.
Okay.
It's called a.
Okay, it's called the.
I think it's the sound effects that were throwing me.
Yeah. All right, moving on. James.
No,
very
that's not my name.
Very simple conundrum.
Okay.
The Swarm Lord has offered you a fuck.
Oh.
There's no punishment for turning it down, and it will be respectful. After all, the Swarm Lord is the smartest Tyranid.
Okay,
So,
okay.
would you fuck the big sweetie?
Yes.
I
If it's going to be, like, nice to me and like, you know, being respectful and, like, conscientious of my needs, I can't see why not. I think everyone would want to fuck a Tyranid, provided, you know, you weren't going to die.
I would have to respectfully decline.
Well, it wouldn't kill you or anything, so it's fine.
Because I am a little bit terrified by the concept of whatever a Swarm Lord's got going on.
So, like, me in 40k, I would fuck myself across that Imperium. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I would try and fuck Primarchs. I would fuck Space Marines. I would fuck... I probably couldn't bed, like, a member of the Mechanicus. Like, the Mechanicum. They'd probably just be, like... They probably have attachments for it just to appease people, but, like, you know, their heart wouldn't be in it. And then I'd be like, oh shit, a Swarm Lord, yeah, I'll do a big sex on you, that's fine. And, you know, just...
Basically, just make 40k into Mass Effect, just...
We'll bang. We'll
Yeah.
bang, okay? Yeah. That's basically me in 40k. I just bang everything. Sounds terrific. So you wouldn't fuck a Swarm Lord?
I don't want to get on top of his Venom Cannon, no.
Well, he could get on top of your Venom Cannon.
That is not a Venom Cannon.
Okay. Whatever that is, whatever upgrade you've taken.
I feel that there's an element of scale here that would mean that I don't think either of us would get much out of it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like... Maybe it'd be like you'd have to, like, sound a whale, so maybe you could just do some sounding on... Don't Google that. You could do some sounding on, like, a Swarm Lord. So you just basically... You strip off, cover yourself in Vaseline, pretend to be Danny DeVito, or your character if you're choosing, run up and down its urethra... And, like, until it, like, you know, climaxes or something. I don't know what Tyranids do. Probably just, like, stop and then just spawn a bunch of Gants or something.
Well, you've got all the parts to make a... What's the thing called that you can make from the Tranifex kit that spawns Gaunts?
It's like a Gaunt spawner.
Or Gants, actually, because it's term of Gants.
Yeah, it's like a Gant spawner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, you could do that. Or you could just, like, basically, like, you know how people hug trees? You could just do that and jump.
Okay. Matthew, please give us your opinion so that we can move on from this.
With the caveats of I'm single.
Oh, yeah, no, I was going to say that's that too, but I think we've used my bullshit by now.
And I feel like if it was a one-time thing, I wouldn't, because it'd sort of ruin you for anything else. But if it could be like a slightly ongoing thing for at least a while,
also you could have it could be like a Swarm Lord with benefits.
Yeah. Because, like, you know, you'd be broken, which is fine as long as...
I don't think they'd harm you.
No. But just, like, you know, they probably wouldn't be able to help it. I assume they're massive.
Well, yeah, but, like, there are. I'm sure there's ways you could get around that.
Well, I mean, getting around it is kind of the issue here.
Yeah, but, like, I honestly feel if in your heart, if you want it enough, you've got it.
Yeah, totally. But then, like, you couldn't go from that to, like,
just
normal
make sure
everyday...
you do your stretches. Make sure you eat plenty of, like, oily fruit. You know, just and, you know, aforementioned lubricant, water-based.
Yeah, you don't want to dissolve the Tyranid.
No, you don't, because, like...
Tyranid are oil-based creatures.
Obviously.
No, they're oil-based creatures. No, they're latex-based creatures.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So I would
Next
absolutely
question,
fuck a
please.
Swarm Lord.
Corroded Falchion. So they recently started watching the MisanthroPod series from episode 1. So I think after 3 we all need to say sorry.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Sorry. Yeah, they're doing a fairly mindless task at work, so their entertainment's been appreciated. They just got up to the episode where we're ranking our favourite games, so they sent through their ranking.
Oh, cool.
Do you want to hear it? I didn't actually write it down.
Yeah,
so if you want to hear it, I have to look up the email.
Yeah, look up.
Yep.
Hold for the elevator music.
I feel like whilst we've got a second, I should point out that we looked up during a down moment the name of the evil Herbie from the Love Bug 1997 movie.
It's a great name.
Its name is Horace the Hate Bug.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
I think that's possibly the most creative thing about that film.
It involves the dark backstory of Herbie and stars Bruce Campbell. It's a film.
It's beautiful.
Okay, good. Right, so in loose order, at number 5 we've got Call of Duty 4. In brackets, I know, but
No. I like Call of Duty. I absolutely adore Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2, even though it's very silly. So no, I totally get it. No judgment here.
Yep. Number 4, Fable.
Fable's a good one.
Yeah, I really like the original Fable.
Number 3, Elder Scrolls. Number 3, Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls. Number 3, Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion.
Haven't played it, but
It's a full of jank, but their first experience of a big open world type thing.
I get that.
Number 2, Mass Effect 2. Like, kind of the whole trilogy, but 2 out of all of them.
Mass Effect is another.
And then number 1.
series.
I'm sorry,
Okay, yeah,
sorry.
come.
Because I honestly find it quite difficult to detach the 3 Mass Effect games from each other. To me, they're sort of like one big thing.
Yeah,
like,
they can.
I've played them through like 3 times, so they're quite
even though
quite
they are
apart in my mind.
They are distinctly different, but yeah, I always think of them as one big entity.
And then number 1, in a slight twist from the other 4, Wipeout Omega Remastered Edition.
Oh.
Which one was that?
The Omega edition.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I
I don't know. It was free on PSN Plus, and PSN came around PS3 era. I don't know. The original Wipeout was PS1.
Yeah,
I know
I
that.
don't know either.
This isn't that.
Yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, I really like the Wipeout series. I played Wipeout 2097 to fucking death. I was never any good at it.
It doesn't matter.
One I played the most though was the PS2 Wipeout Fusion. I fucking love that one. That is a game that I really annoyingly. I don't think I've got the save file anymore, but I got that to 99.9% completion.
Dude.
What did you miss?
The only thing I had to do was one time trial that I couldn't even get close to. Like, I had golded every other time trial in the game, except this one that I couldn't even get close on. So I was obviously missing something, but this was, like, before I really used the internet, like, all the time, so...
You mean when cheat lines and shit like that were, like, £3 a minute were, like, everywhere?
I think it was after that time, but I think it was before YouTube, I think. So that would explain something. I remember there was a mode in it, I can't remember what it was called now, but basically you're in a ship that never stopped. All you could do was control its air brakes, and you just had to survive as it got progressively faster.
That sounds horrifying.
It was great. I fucking love that mode. I tried playing it again recently, and I just couldn't do it. I have no idea how I got so good at it, but, like, yeah, that was great. It was Wipeout Fusion. It was good. Not so great now, because obviously there's a time delay on your actions when playing on a modern television, because the way they work, rather than being instant on a CRT. And this was designed for a CRT, whereas modern quick reaction games are designed with that, like, delay in mind. So all that happens when you play it now is just slam into the wall, because you have to make split-second decisions, and you start to notice that lag. Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay. After this list, they sent another email. We'll be like, oh, realised I didn't actually ask a question. So,
Oh, that's fair.
their question, related, I guess, to top 5 games and things like that. So if you could breed 2 video games to make an offspring which had the most desirable qualities from both, what would they be?
Far Cry 3 and MGS3.
Okay. Which bits from which?
Well, I'd have, like, basically the stealth and everything, and Snake, and the bullshit story from MGS3, and a lot of more open world kind of things, first-person-y kind of stuff from Far Cry 3. And put Vass in there, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, we assumed you'd have him in there.
Of course I would. And then Vass and Snake would do big kissing. No, they wouldn't. Also, that, and then there's a bit of a DNA splice with Jurassic Park Trespasser.
What, so you can look down at the
And
health
just-
on his titty?
I can look down and see Snake's big barra titties with the love heart tattoo, and he's like, I'm injured. And I'd be like, hey, yeah, you are. It'd be great. Yeah, no, MGS3 and Lost Park, Yeah, no, actually, I changed that to Jurassic Park, Trespasser, and MGS3. Because I just need to see, like, Snake in a V-neck shirt with his titty out. So big snake titty.
Good, good.
Yeah.
I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, this is a big question. I'm struggling to think of anything.
Like, because there's a lot of games where I've got, like, you know...
How about The Sims and Manhunt?
Jesus. I mean, I would like to see... It would be interesting to see... I mean, it's sort of a game style that's already been done by... what was it called? Was it The Sacred? Was it Sacred it was called?
Oh.
I can't remember. But it was an old first-person shooter where one person on the team was basically playing an RTS and everyone else was playing a first-person shooter. And they gradually built up a base and gave access to more abilities and, like, protected the area.
That sounds really cool.
So that'd be cool. Like, in my head, like, I just want something like, how about we resurrect an old series, which has technically had a spiritual successor, so it's never going to have a new one, but to, like, take the Total Annihilation games and then mix it with sort of a kind of Overwatch-y style of play, like, on the ground. Like, that could be fun. I am just thinking of things on the fly and I'm panicking, so...
I got that.
So,
Yeah, fair. I've actually thought of an answer, if you want a second to reconsider.
No, I'll go with that. I've made an answer and I must live with it.
Live with it, yeah. So my answer, I think I take the setting and the characters and the general feeling and basically everything about the Dark Souls series except the gameplay, and then put in the gameplay of any other RPG game. So then I could actually play it.
Sounds good.
Fair enough.
Because I really want to give it a try, but I just can't get over the gameplay.
It's a weird one because it's like once you get used to it, it becomes easy. Like, but it has a lot of rules it doesn't really tell you. And you have to figure out.
I am aware. I just still can't do it.
That's fair.
Okay. Fair. Last question. Gnolls in Hell. So if they recall correctly, Wibby.
Oh,
yes.
Wibby has an orc army, right?
Mm-hmm. I do indeed have an orc
since
army.
They've released that silly gobbo, their words, not mine, what are your thoughts on making a Grot Rebellion army, in essence?
Yes.
Of course, the red gobbo is the leader.
It is an inevitability. It's come out with rules now. They've actually made proper.
Is it not?
Rules
It's an elite choice though, not a HQ choice.
It is an elite choice, so you can't have it leading an army. No. What I would like to do, and I'm half tempted because I've got like a 20 odd strong squad of maybe like 25 to 30 strong squad of Grots in my orc army. Anyway, I'm tempted to strip them down and repaint them in like my modern ability to paint and to match the kind of style that I've done, because I have I've got the red gobbo and I've converted him into a
Red Gobbo Classic.
In a winter wardrobe.
I was literally in our local GW today, and like the guy behind the counter just gushes about Whip's paint jobs. He fucking loves them. And like we were basically standing there, he was like, "Oh, has he finished the Red Gobbo yet?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, he finished it in like 2 days." He was like, "What?" And we were just like getting super hyped. It was really pure and wonderful.
Yeah, I need to take that in tomorrow.
You do.
But yeah, I'd like to make.
Hopefully, he's there so we can just start crying.
I would be intrigued, to make a detachment. Not necessarily a full army, because Grots are so kind of small. I do have some unpainted killer cans, so I could throw those in because they're piloted by Grots.
There's like little tanks as well, or something as well.
They're
right?
very expensive from Forge World.
Okay.
I would love them. They're great. And like, there's the Grot mega tank that's like a battleship on tank tracks. That is beautiful. I seem to remember it's not very good in game because all of the Orc Forge World stuff mechanically fucking sucks.
Rule of cool.
But the Grot tanks might be fun. But yeah, I'd like to make a small Grot Rebellion army, and I have been eyeing up all the Grots I've got and going like, I mean, I know I spent a long time painting all these, but like, if I repainted them. I can paint them to match my red Bobo.
You're not allowed to strip them to repaint them until you've finished all your other painting.
Yep.
Define finished.
See, you give me shit for this.
Okay, how many models have you finished painting this year?
Oh, at least 39. What?
When you say 39...
Yeah, you're right. About 79.
Do you mean like 2?
Well, there's at least 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Oh no, I should tell.
There was a huge percent.
You have finished 5 wolves. I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, at least 5.
Actually 5.
Way more than 5.
Actually
no,
5.
actually way more than 5.
How?
6.
6. Yeah. Exactly.
You still give me shit for it, and fuck you, I want more dreadnoughts. I want more Stumpy Babes.
You already have 2,000 points of fucking dreadnoughts.
Maybe I want 3,000
and they're not
points.
and they're all only partially painted.
Well, I'm getting there.
Finish painting them and I'll have more sympathy.
Make me.
I can't make you. Although I can say you're not having... And you're having I can say you're not having any more dreadnoughts until you finish painting at least
one of them.
Percentage of them.
I have painted a percentage. 0 is a percent. You didn't specify, and now it's on fucking, it's being recorded, so you owe me a dreadnought because I've just decided you do.
That's not how it works. And we've also got the Sisters Army coming.
They don't have dreadnoughts.
Do sisters have a dreadnought?
They have a penitent engine, which is very similar to a dreadnought.
Oh, Victor's pattern warsuit.
You can have an Invictus pattern warsuit
Thank you.
when you have painted enough of your actual army.
Who is to say, and those who say that enough is enough will always have enough, honey. So that means I've painted it enough, and I want my fucking Invictus.
If you can drum up the money for it and you want to buy it yourself, you can do that.
I mean, I could, but I'm saving up for my license.
Exactly.
And I found some really nice boots, and I'm like, sad.
Anyway.
I want.
Yes, a Grot Rebellion army, at least a small faction of one, is probably going to happen in my future at some point because the Grot Rebellion is fucking great.
Unlike anything to do with my army, because I don't have any models that I want.
Shut up.
Okay, that is the end of the questions.
Okay, good. We can end it. Finally.
It is the end of the podcast.
End it. This is the end. My only friend. I want a dreadnought.
I've also found out that if you want to watch the Herbie movie we've talked about, it is on YouTube.
Oh, the one with was it Herman the Hatred Mobile?
Horus the Hate Bug.
I like mine better.
I don't know which is stupider. Yeah.
Fuck you, mine was better. Horus the Hate Mobile or whatever.
Horus the Hate Bug.
Or whatever.
Horus the Hate Bug. He hails from Nazi Germany. That's not very good.
Yeah.
Understatement of the year.
So yeah, I will watch it and see. Because I read a brief blurb of what happens. I don't think...
I wonder, is there a race and the Nazi fucking bug nearly wins, but then Herbie wins, and then the Nazi bug is fucking murdered?
Basically, although I think it might be my memory playing tricks on me. I think they do skirt the point of it being Nazis. I think they just say it's like in the wake of World War II because it was. I think
after the end of World War II.
Because I think the Beetle came out like a few years after World War II, but it was like designed during the.
That's what makes the hate bug even worse. It saw the fall of Nazi Germany and went, yeah, nah, they were definitely the right side. I don't like that car.
Oh, you're not supposed to, it's the villain.
Good, it's a prick and I hate it. And it has angry headlights to show that it's evil.
It does.
Fucking hate bug. God, that's awful.
Like the video for more Herbie discourse.
Yeah, things are really heating up in the Herbie fandom.
Right.
Anyway, it's
home.
the end of the podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye,
I hope
bye.
you enjoyed whatever this was.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Fucking hate bug. I can't get over how terrible that is.